Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Coffee with Katie. So today's video is going to be my November TBR. We're going to be talking about all the books I'm planning on reading in November, but this TBR is going to be very, very short because of one of the books I'm planning on reading is going to be very long. And I'm very scared. I'm very intimidated, but we're going to try. First off, I have my wonderful Halloween witchy mug from Book Babe Designs. I love it. I love having like seasonal mugs. They're very fun. Anyway, the first book I'm planning on reading in November is Welcome to Fay Cafe by Jennifer Crope. I've had this for a while and I've been meaning to get to it for a while and just haven't yet. This is the first, what's this series called? Coffee Bean High Court. This is the first book in the series, Coffee Bean High Court. And this is the coffee shop aesthetic, and I think the other books in the series are different settings, but it just sounds kind of fun and cute. It says danger, kisses, and a whole lot of cookies, a high court of the coffee bean novel. And on the back it says, 4 deadly Fey assassins come to the human realm to hunt down Kate Cole for breaking a fairy law. Leading them is a prince, the most feared and deadly Fey assassin of the North, and heir to the North corner of Ever. But after the assassins arrive to the human realm, things go terribly wrong. To the prince's horror, his assassins unwittingly get roped into running a cozy cafe on Kate Cole's behalf. Blend in, the Fey assassins are forced to learn how to do basic human activities like cleaning up after themselves, driving without road rage, reading popular fantasy books at book club without getting into alpha male fights over what they're reading, and in general, be nice to all, blend into regular human society. That just sounds so funny and cute, and I think it's more cozy fantasy, and I'm very excited to finally read it. There is a little bit more of the plot. I think it says like he has a temper and a deadly power that's unmatched, but he seeks revenge on Kate Cole. As he aims to strike what would hurt her the most, the prince finds himself enchanted by this human target in more ways than one, and when the darkness of the Ever corners come knocking at the human's realm's door, he needs to make a choice that could cost him everything. So it does sound like there's a little bit more at stake than a normal cozy fantasy, but it sounds really good. And I'm very excited because I've been meaning to read this for a while. The next one I'm planning on reading is Throne of Secrets by Karen Maniscalco. This comes out October 29th, which is in 2 days for me. So I'm pretty excited to read this, but I'm gonna probably push it to November because I'm still trying to finish my October TBR. This is a Prince of Sin book 2. So we're following Gluttony, I think, on this one. Yeah, so we're following Prince Gluttony in this book. And I'm pretty curious about it. It sounds kind of like it's more of a mystery. And it says that Prince Gluttony likes the thrill of the hunt. When his favorite adventure takes a deadly turn, he realizes that something is very wrong in the demon court, in his demon court. And with the clock ticking, he needs to uncover the truth, find out what's going on, which is where the female main character comes in, and she is a journalist. And she's like hell-bent on finding the truth. So I think that combination is really cool because he kind of needs her, but he's been avoiding her. But the idea of it being a reporter, journalist type character who's like really desperate to uncover the truth and solve the mystery sounds like a really good time. That's kind of all the plot you really get on these types of books. It's like each prince has like their own past or secret or danger or something that they're running from or trying to solve. And so I'm curious to see what happens with Gluttony and where the story goes, if it's connected at all to the others or not. Hopefully that one will be fun as well. I also hope to read the Fireborn Blade by Charlotte Bond. This is a pretty quick book. I think it's kind of like a novella almost. It's really, really short, 168 pages, so not super long. I've been curious about this for a little while. I've heard it can be kind of spooky and it's not necessarily horror, but maybe. And then there's some psychological aspects of it, but essentially there's a lady knight and she needs to kill the dragon and get this Fireborn Blade. And nobody survived fighting or getting to this dragon before. And the little like snippet says, ultimately the Fireborn Blade is about the rules we refuse to accept and of the place we make for ourselves in the world. And I've heard pretty good things about this, so I'm just kind of curious. And it's very short, so it's easier to fit in this type of a book with the other books that are on this TBR. So I'm hoping to read that as well. And then I'm planning on reading The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 1 in the Stormlight Archive. John has been trying to get me to read this for a very long time, and I do want to read it, but it's so long. It's so long. And I was just kind of feeling like, you know what, November, I think I could do this. I could do this for November maybe. So I'm going to attempt The Way of Kings in November. The audiobook is 45 hours long, which freaks me out, but I'm hoping that I can get to it. And I truly, like, I feel like I know what it's about, but I really don't know what it's about. I know that it's set in the Cosmere, and so is Mistborn, which I've read the first Mistborn book, which maybe this isn't the best thing to do since I haven't finished Mistborn, but c'est la vie. It says Roshar is a world of stone and storms, uncanny tempest of incredible power sweep across the rocky terrain so frequently that they have shaped ecology and civilization alike. Animals hide in shells, trees pull in branches, and grass retracts into the soilless ground. Cities are built only when the topography offers shelter. It has been centuries since the fall of the 10 consecrated orders known as the Knights Radiant, but their shard blades and shard plate remain. Mystical swords and suits of armor that transform ordinary men into near-invincible warriors. Men trade kingdoms for shard blades, wars were fought for them and won by them. One such war rages on a ruined landscape called the Shattered Plains. There, Kaladin, who traded his medical apprenticeship for a spear to protect his little brother, has been reduced to slavery. In a war that makes no sense, where 10 armies fight separately against a single foe, he struggles to save his men and to fathom the leaders who consider them expendable. Bright Lord Danalar commands one of those other armies. Like his brother, the late king, he is fascinated by an ancient text called the Way of Kings. Troubled by overpowering visions of ancient times and the Knights Radiant, he has begun to doubt his own sanity. Across the ocean, an untried young woman named Shallan seeks to train under an eminent scholar and notorious heretic, Dalinar's niece, Jasna. Though she generally loves learning, Shallan's motives are less than pure as she plans a daring theft. Her research for Jasna's hints at secrets of the Knights Radiant and the true cause of the war. The results of over 10 years of planning, writing, and world building, The Way of Kings is the opening movement in the Stormlight Archive, a bold masterpiece in the making. Speak again the ancient oaths, life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination, and return to men the shards they once bore. The Knights Radiant must stand again. That was a lot. As I'm sure you have, I've heard amazing things about the series. People say it's like the best series ever. If you love it, it's like your favorite book ever, or at least the series, the world is your favorite ever. So I'm very curious. I hope that I really like it. I hope I can get past the narrator, because I started this book years ago and got to minute like 3 and couldn't stand the narrator. So I'm hoping I can get past that, because I was able to kind of get to a point where I was acceptable of it in Mistborn. So I'm hoping it's not a barrier for me this time, but I am planning on reading Way of Kings. I'm scared. Pray for me. Because that book is so long, I don't think I'm going to have time for anything else, but I will do the Sprayed Edges challenge simply because I've been sucking at it, and maybe that's just setting myself up for failure, to be honest, but I do want to try to keep doing this challenge, so I'm going to pick one just in case, but I'm giving myself all of the grace in the world if I have Way of Kings on my TBR, because it's just so massive. So let's see how this goes. Also done a lot of unhauling, and I haven't gone through this, so that might play into this a little. I drew The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. So let me just get that. Again, don't know if I'll have time for this, but this would be one that I would pick up. I don't know if it's considered cozy fantasy, but it's more of a lighthearted fantasy. It's more of a lighthearted fantasy with some romantic elements. The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. True love might be the death of them. The House of the Cerulean Sea meets You've Got Mail in this quirky, refreshing fantasy with a rom-com worthy twist. There is a marshal tasked with patrolling the magical wilds of Tanria. It's an unforgiving job, and Hart's got nothing but time to ponder his loneliness. Mercy never has a moment to herself. She's been single-handedly keeping Birdsail and Son undertakers afloat in defiance of sullen jerks like Hart, who seem to have a gift for showing up right when their patience is thinnest. After yet another exasperating run-in with Mercy, Hart finds himself penning a letter addressed simply to a friend. Much to his surprise, an anonymous letter comes back in return, and a tentative friendship is born. If only Hart knew he's been bearing his soul to the person who infuriates him the most, Mercy. As the dangers from Tanria grow closer, so do the unlikely pen pals, but can their blossoming romance survive the fated discovery that their correspondents are their worst nightmares, each other? So it sounds kind of cute and kind of funny. So if I do have time for this, that'll be a good break from the heaviness that is the other books. At least Way of Kings and Fireborn Blade. Those are all of the books that I am planning on reading in November. Please comment down below and let me know any of these books you're excited to hear my opinions about, or what you're planning on reading in November. And if you've made it this far, leave me your favorite November-inspired emoji. But as for now, that is it for today's video. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time. Stay safe and caffeinated. Bye.